One time. Hit it one time.
I did.
Hit it one more time.
I will.
It's on!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Disney Parks Talk Live here at laughingplace.com. I'm Rebecca Mosley, the co-founder of Laughing Place, and with me is my husband somewhere over there with headphones falling off, Doobie Mosley. Apparently, during our 2-week vacation, he forgot how this thing happens. And down there's Jeremiah, our East Coast correspondent. Hey, Jeremiah, how's it going?
That's not how Jeremiah gets introduced.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
And let's see, that's my wife, Rebecca, who I love so much.
I'm over here.
Down below is Jeremiah, the vice president in charge of, usually as I'm saying that, something comes to mind and nothing hit me today. I'm going to say the vice president in charge of keeping secrets.
Airplane purchases. He's in charge of airplane purchases, right?
And Skyliner.
And Skyliners. Jeremiah was very kind to us during our recent Walt Disney World trip and showed up with various goodies that he'd been picking up as he thought of us during the time that we were apart. It was good to see you, Jeremiah, in person.
I wish that we could have spent more time, but, life happens.
Hey,
life finds a way.
It's okay. Hey, Donna.
Hey, Donna.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, Gio. Nice to be back here. This is my second stream. Your first stream since we've returned, right, Rebecca?
No. It's my second because I did Star Wars headlines.
Your second stream since we returned, right, Rebecca?
Yes, it is. Although the first one where when I hit the little introductory video, every screen went dark. So
that's bad.
That was fun.
This time it just started and stopped a second later. Anyway, let's get on to the show.
Okay, so what do you want to start, DB?
Well, there's a lot that's happened in this past week, but I think without a doubt, the biggest story of the week was the release of the Jaws mold at Universal Studio Legacy Store.
Yeah, that's what I was ready to go with.
But to keep people hanging around, we're going to save that till later, and we're going to start with some details about the Disneyland park opening up later this month.
That's right. The Disneyland park is opening up at the end of April. And today was the first day that people who had previously purchased tickets, right, were able to make reservations.
So if you had one of those Indiana Jones tickets or Toontown tickets, you just ripped them off the wall. And
I think more commonly was people who purchased some multi-day tickets and only used part of the days. And Disney was nice enough to extend expiration. Nice enough is a fun way to put it, but extend expiration dates. So a lot of those people got to book their tickets, and probably pretty stress-free, since if you look at the calendar now, there's still availability for opening day. So Thursday, 8 a.m. is going to be fun.
That's what I'm really waiting to see what it's like. But just so you know, also on that April 15th date, not only will you be able to at 8 a.m. Pacific, and it says no earlier than 8 p.m. To me, that means we hope it's 8 a.m., right?
So whenever a new stock launches on the stock market, the stock market opens, and then they don't actually start trading on that stock until they see what the demand results in the price actually opening at. And I feel that's what's going to happen here. They want to maybe at 8, but depending on the demand, it may be like 1 p.m. before they figure out how to handle all these people.
No, Doobie, they already have the demand and the price and what it's going to be worth. If Rebecca scrolls down a little bit, we see the full breakdown of what tickets will be.
Subject to change.
Or not.
No, that's on the other sheet. That's on the other page. Donna, you'll have to let us know what your success is when you get ready for that fun.
So there is still space available for opening day, April 30th. So come April 15th on Thursday, 8 a.m. People can, no earlier than 8 a.m. People can start to buy a ticket and book a day, either Disneyland or DCA. You can buy a one park ticket or a park hopper. I have a feeling a lot of people who are able to get a DCA are going to make sure they buy those park hoppers, because Disney has already announced that starting at 1 p.m., assuming you have a park hopper, you will be able to hop parks, which is really nice. I did not expect that, and I'm really happy to see that you're not stuck in one park. You will be able to park hop, assuming you have the appropriate ticket. So
you can hop like Bad Bunny hops.
Disney's going to make a lot of money on April 15th.
He was so good. I still can't get over how good Bad Bunny was. Okay.
WrestleMania, right?
Park hopping will begin at 1 p.m. once the park is open. Very much like what we experienced during our recent Walt Disney World vacation, where come 1 o'clock we were able to head over to some other park.
Unlike what we experienced, though, the parks do not have, at least as of right now, extended hours. Each park is only open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. So I believe at 3 p.m. they have the Cruise in the Kingdom parade, because that was the last time Disneyland closed at 7 p.m. was way back when they used to run those kind of hours.
Also, sorry, go ahead, Jeremiah.
That'll be very interesting to see if they do extend the hours. I mean, with capacity, the main reason that Walt Disney World has extended the hours is, when the parks opened, the capacity was small and it wasn't that busy. Like, the capacity didn't extend until, I want to say, they actually started bumping up the capacity. So, Disneyland and Disney California Adventure is a completely different beast. I mean, we will see Thursday what it looks like when the tickets go on sale. If the system crashes right away, which I would bet money that it will, and then, maybe they'll start to see they will extend the hours if they are selling out.
For sure. And this is interesting from Geo. I mean, obviously, capacity is capacity, but at least in my reading, Disney did not give the impression, 1 p.m. when available, like when they really hedged when available on Walt Disney World. They totally hedged on if it would actually be available each day, and then it turns out it pretty much is. I didn't see that same hedge here. I think they're anticipating it being available. Remembering, there's no annual passes here, so these are people that have to have park hopper tickets to do that, and a lot of people don't. They're not going to pay that extra money just to get into Disneyland for a few days, I think. So,
well, for such limited hours, because if the park's closing at 7, then theoretically you're not getting until after 1 o'clock.
Right.
So.
And considering they're starting the hopping at 1 and the park doesn't open until 9, I mean, I really feel like they're Disneyland at least anticipating that people will be able to park hop. But maybe Geo is right, and we will see what we see.
Yeah. Because that, like Geo says, how many people will actually leave DL early? But that's what's been interesting with our experience at Walt Disney World, Jeffrey. I was surprised that at how much the numbers would seem to subside as the afternoon wore on. People weren't staying till close, which shocked me. I didn't expect to see that dramatic drop off in wait times once we hit like around 4 and 5 o'clock. I mean, we noticed that at almost every park we went to, right, Phoebe?
Oh, for sure. And there's 2 other things to remember. One is we don't know that Disney is actually booking each park to its actual capacity every day. And 2, I mean, life happens. People don't always show up. There's going to be a certain percentage of people, even with these tickets, that don't show up. And Mike, I don't know, but if you have a reservation but you don't show up, I've got to presume your ticket is still good, and you can then just reserve another day. So
I think that there was something in the fine print about that I saw earlier, but I don't recall what it was. But
you're not stumbling on it now?
So,
yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where we'll see more about it, I'm sure, as the actual opening date approaches. And then also, as we've seen with Walt Disney World, because it initially opened without park hopping, we don't know yet what we can see as far as adaptations once it's opening.
Sure. But the big difference, Disney World opened with annual passes still out there. And obviously every annual pass holder can park hop. Not the case here. No more annual passes. You're buying a ticket, so you would have to explicitly buy a park hopping ticket. But we're speculating. We will know soon enough, 3 weeks. And,
another interesting element of the announcement was a kind of a more full announcement of what we would and would not see. And among the attractions that you won't see, I was surprised that bobsleds were on there. I'm wondering if that's more about the annual refurbishment of the Matterhorn as opposed to COVID mitigation. Because it seems like one of the few attractions that's really well designed for social distance opportunity. You keep your parties.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeremiah.
Donald's boat, hasn't that been closed for like years anyway?
I think the Matterhorn may have something to do with Harold and his proximity to you when he yells at you and
good
trying
point.
to keep
We
that 6 feet
do
distance.
know that primates are susceptible. We did see that at the zoos.
Screaming your heart.
One that surprised me here was Finding Nemo submarine voyage. I really did not see any issues with reopening that whatsoever, but apparently Disney's noticed something that might cause an issue.
The shooting exposition is the one that really throws me. Like, Disney is passing up the chance to take my dollar to shoot a couple of targets for a little while.
I presume this list was done before the new guidance on surface contact, and so we got to clean the guns between each one. But now,
I wonder.
I'm not sure that's as big an issue.
That's an interesting. Yeah, no, that's an.
Same for Buzz Lightyear and the guns, you know.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it.
Here in Florida, I mean, I know that Florida and California are very different, but the CDC guidelines, the shooting exposition and Buzz Lightyear have been open here since day one. So it's interesting to see, you know, some of those
differences coast to coast.
That's sad that the cinema's closed.
And then Mr. Lincoln, I know it's not open anyway, but I'm glad they got rid of that part where he whispers in your ear because that would have kept it from ever opening until this is open.
There's also a number of attractions and restaurants that are listed as not reopening. I can't get through it now. Reopening.
I'm not going to put Geo's out because I'm not sure it's appropriate, but I'm laughing at you, Geo.
And some of these are, I suspect, are related to capacity, while others are related to just the fact of demand. Like some of the dining options out in Toontown, given that you're going to have a lower capacity happening within the park, I can see where you might not have as many kind of outer edge eateries available to dine. So
this is an extensive list of places.
This
is not opening.
Yeah, I thought isn't California already passed? I know that when it was first announced, it was the no indoor dining, and then the indoor dining came back like a week after they announced it opening. But you know, some of these Harbor Galley, I understand that's a small area, but Edelweiss Snacks, where am I going to get my chimichanga?
I'm wondering also with some of these, if you're not, I mean, Disneyland as designed is all its walkways are far more narrow. So I think to some extent you also want to be aware of creating kind of congregate areas.
Well, and as we discovered, and Florida has discovered, one of the biggest challenges in opening these parks is simply where to put queues when you don't have Fast Pass and you're spreading people out 6 feet. Disneyland is much more compact than any of the Walt Disney World parks in attraction density. So, I mean, I would love an aerial view at 1 p.m. of Disneyland just to see how they're laying out these queues. Half these restaurants are probably closed because queues are going to be going through them, like at the Columbia Harbor House at Magic Kingdom. So
well, we were just talking about, I was just saying how Toontown, I wondered if it was, to keep outer edge because of capacity. But now that you mentioned that, I'm wondering like the Roger Rabbit queue, you might end up directing it around that way a little bit. So yeah, it'll be very fascinating. That's
over Donald's boat and through Goofy's Playhouse.
Yeah, that's why they're not open, because they're queue space.
Right.
Like Rancho del Zocalo is closed because that's going to be a character area. And there was another one on there that was a character area, I thought. Okay,
well, we're going to talk about character areas eventually, so we'll catch it there.
So what about the DCA list? Do you have that one handy?
Yeah, I'm scrolling down to it for you now. Here it is.
The big one there that really surprised me.
Trolley needs to be fixed.
And that's why I did an auto link, I bet. Golden Zephyr is, I presume it's going to be closed because we know people are going to be breeding in the park and they can't handle the wind.
Exactly.
Grizzly River Run was a disappointment, and I can't imagine why that's the case unless it's just, again, unless it's just another refurb.
No, I guess that's the mask on the water ride.
Is Cali open? Cali is not open, is it?
No, it is. Or it's reopening. It had been open here.
And Splash Mountain is, and Splash Mountain is in California too. So
yeah.
I don't know, maybe the fact that you're facing each other, but then you can just seat half of it. I'm surprised on that one. And the other one, I guess it's not a real surprise, but especially with the new CDC guidance that Redwood Creek Challenge Trail is not open, that just seems like a wonderful place for kids to run around outdoors and have a really, really good time. But that's not.
But as you pointed out, that CDC announcement, discussion has been a relatively new turn, and so it may not have come within a time frame that allowed them to be prepared if they wanted to move forward with such things.
Right.
So, and once again, yeah, I know, right? But once again, because Tom Sawyer Island is open at Walt Disney World.
That was another good one, and it's not open in California.
So yeah, and then there's the various eateries that will not be available to you at the opening. But once again, this list, I'm not married to this list. I
wonder if again, because of the necessity for queue space and if they're really hoping people will go to downtown Disney to eat a little more, since it's much more it's not like Disney World where you got to take a bus. Here you can just walk out, grab your meal, and walk back in. If they're kind of guiding people there, leave the park when you want to eat, clear some space, come back in when you're done, and stand in line. Just a speculation again.
And then Disneyland shared the details on how you'll access Rise of the Resistance, and it's very similar to what we experienced at Walt Disney World. That is that they'll release a certain number in the morning and a certain number around 1:00, so that way you won't have you won't be able to benefit by park hopping to try and get on Rise, and I suspect, and that you will only be able to hold one virtual queue reservation. We didn't have any challenge. We got to the park. This was Walt Disney World, but we got to the park, around 11:00, and then once the 1:00 hour approached, we hit the button and we got in. So I've been very lucky. I'm 444 now, right, with my Rise, with my Rise reservations.
And one of the nice things here is, like Walt Disney World, unlike previously Disneyland, you do not have to be in the park to get that first reservation. You just have to have your park reservation, but you don't actually have to be in there. That eliminates congestion and eliminates some stress of just getting in the park, and allows people to spread out their day. You won't have to have everyone there feeling like they have to be there first thing in the morning, which is nice. So,
can I play armchair Disney planner for a second?
Sure.
I'm guessing that come around June 4th or so, we'll probably be seeing an extra attraction added to that virtual queue list. Yeah, I would guess that they will.
Jungle Cruise.
Exactly.
Hey, you guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
And so, Jeremiah, Bad Bunny was the surprise match of the weekend, right?
Yeah, okay. I thought Bad Bunny did an excellent job. For those of you who didn't watch WrestleMania, you can go get it on Peacock TV, a Universal company.
Because I can remember when Mr. T wrestled back in the day, and basically he'd get in there, he'd hit people a couple times. Bad Bunny started the match and basically did the entire match.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a dumb strategy, but it's really impressive.
No, Bad Bunny's been a lifelong WWE fan, so him doing that really showed, one, that he cared, and two, that The Miz and Morrison could really carry anybody, because while Bad Bunny hit that Devastator really nicely, if not for Miz doing that flip with him, sure, wrestling may not be real. It wouldn't have come across as well as it did. But I've been watching wrestling since, I was a very little kid, and there's never been a guest star that has come across that did a great match like Bad Bunny did.
Yeah, Gronk last year basically just laid down on a guy and won the 24/7 title. He did. Yeah, anyway, was that sufficient time, Rebecca?
Yeah, guess what? Our West Coast correspondent, Mike C., is here, so I'm going to bring him on the stream, too. Hey, Mike!
Yeah.
Hello.
You just returned from SeaWorld, huh?
I did.
Well, I think we've come to a fairly good. Yeah, we'll bring Mike into the Disneyland conversation in a moment. I want to hear about SeaWorld.
Yeah.
SeaWorld was kind of a bust today.
Sorry to hear that.
Mike, are you a mountain man, by the way? You've really grown that in pretty thick.
It's gotten thick.
Yeah, it's for a role. So it was kind of advertised that the rides are going to be open today, but turns out you had to do a little bit more research to find out which rides they were talking about. It was mostly like the kiddie rides. They hadn't opened like most of the thrill rides. Only Electric Eel was open.
Oh.
So wait, SeaWorld advertises the rides are going to be open and only has small open. Universal doesn't advertise any rides will be open and opens almost all of theirs during Taste of Universal. Excellent job.
Correct.
No, I don't think Mike wants to have that conversation.
Well,
it's been a frustrating week for me in theme park world. I'm really hoping the rest of this month goes well.
Wait till Thursday.
Yeah, exactly.
Fingers crossed for Mike. Fingers, toes, everything crossed for Mike. We were just about to talk about the fact that the Grand Californian Hotel is going to be reopening on April 30th. So
29th.
I'm sorry, 29th.
So you can stay there and then go to the park on April 30th.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm excited to have the beautiful hotel back again and know people are there. So yeah.
Do we know if the restaurants are opening, specifically Storyteller Cafe?
I didn't see like specific details on like that. I did see that areas would be open. So they say like some offerings will be modified and that kind of thing, but I didn't notice within our report directly what you could expect to find.
And
I'll search while you guys talk.
Okay. Those bookings start on Thursday as well. And, as far as those go, cut the stress. Call Mouse Fan Travel, send them an email, go to their website, let them take care of that stress for you. You don't need to be on the phone trying to get tickets and hotel reservations. So we highly recommend Mouse Fan Travel for any assistance you have trying to do any Disneyland resort or Walt Disney World vacationing right now, as things are quite complicated, but they are the experts. And then on April 22nd, you can start making dining reservations as well, which I believe you already mentioned, but I don't have to say it again.
Yeah, no, good place to mention it again. I was trying to remember how to turn off comments.
Okay.
Also, today, Disney Parks blog surprised us all with some Haunted Mansion fun. The Haunted Mansion improvements. They had talked previously about some enhancements coming to the mansion, and they released a very brief TikTok teaser and then a YouTube video where they showcased the return of the April-December changing portrait that has clearly been enhanced. I think she winked before she began her transformation. And she's been relocated to that area like just before load based upon the video. And then they encouraged everyone to pay particular attention to the dearly departed pet cemetery. A lot of horticulture, landscaping additions there.
And they said that there's new stories of the dearly departed pets. Ooh, I hadn't seen that photo of the new barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I told you my horticulture joke?
Is it Hollywood?
Never mind.
So yeah, see if you look, she winks and then
she did,
and then she transforms. So yeah,
so you can see all this on LP or on the Disney Parks blog.
So yeah,
fun. And what they don't address there is how it'll work, since that's an actual elevator there. But sure, we'll know soon.
That was my frustration with all their inside part stuff. Was I kind of wanted a bit of a sneak peek of how they're going to handle the stretching room. So
That'll be
Yeah.
one of those ambassador videos that come out just before the opening, showing like, here's how we're doing this and how we're doing that, and it'll, they'll probably show plexiglass and some of the attractions. And
Oh, true. Okay, Tristan wants to know, do you have a favorite part of the Disneyland Resort? Do you?
Of course.
Go
Love
ahead,
them
Judy.
churros. No, I would say my favorite part is the atmosphere, just the general atmosphere.
That's not a part. That's like a
You define part the way you want to, and I'll define part the way I want to.
See, but Jeffrey likes my idea of a slide. That's how everybody's getting to the bottom. A big slide, whee, down. It could look like it's a grave, so you're like sliding down into the tomb. Yeah, it'll be like really creepy. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
How about Batu? Is that a satisfactory answer? Batu?
Sure. How about you,
Okay.
Jeremiah? Your favorite part of the Disneyland Resort?
I will always love Adventureland just because I spent so many years there for waiting for Indiana Jones to open. And with the enhancements they've done over the years, especially with the new expansion of the back patio of, I can never remember the name of it, the Tahitian bar. What's it called, Mike?
Tropical
Or
Hideaway.
Thank you.
Make them suffer.
Tropical
It was.
Hideaway.
Tropical Hideaway, like the couple of times that I visited with that being open, I could sit there and watch the Jungle Cruise boats float by and enjoy Rosita with her joke at literally a minute.
Yep. Lots going on over there. How about you, Mike C?
Adventureland during the day, Frontierland at night. I really just like the whole western side of the park. New Orleans Square, love it.
Critter
Yeah,
country.
That's where I spend most of my time if I'm just kind of hanging out.
How about you,
Very
Rebecca?
nice. I'm partial to Storybook when it comes to Disneyland. Yeah.
You're out of luck. It ain't reopening.
Yeah. Well, no, the canal boats aren't, but it didn't. It said Casey. It didn't have Casey on the list of knots. So
Okay, so that one's okay.
yeah. So I can
I'm
see it
curious,
personally.
Mike. Assuming you've seen the list, Mike, which attraction were you most disappointed is not reopening?
I'm trying to remember what was on the list, but I guess we're not getting Jungle Cruise, right? Like they're just going to
Correct.
be.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's the one then that we won't get to like experience that before they change it.
You didn't get to say goodbye to your Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
That is kind of sad. That's a
Coming.
good question. That's a good question.
Do we think April 30th, the first day it reopens, May the 4th for obvious reasons, or June 4th, which is Avengers Campus opening? Which of these days do we suspect will vanish the fastest?
April 30th.
April 30th, but then second would be June 4th. April
Yeah, I
30th
don't think-
Disneyland, and then June 4th DCA.
I don't think May 4th will have any impact because they won't do anything. They out here they haven't done anything, or they're not planning to do anything specific because
But
capacity.
But I don't think that matters as much in California, because I think May the 4th was a far more like fan-oriented social event. So I don't know the fact that Disneyland may or may not have anything, has said, we won't be doing anything. I don't know that matters as much as far as demand goes.
I think May the 4th might have been a big deal, but now people are very anxious to make sure they're in their seats in time for our Disney Trivia Live.
Oh, of
And
course.
so they're not going to want to take a chance.
Plus,
Yeah.
the people that were always making May 4th a thing were the annual pass holders. And I mean, I know that as a past annual pass holder, I'm sure Mike will agree to this. And you guys, like, without the annual pass, it's not going to be hey, I'm going to spend $150 to go this day because it will be fun to go. If you're spending the $150, it's either a purpose like the opening day or the opening day of Avengers Campus, or a special day. May 4th is a fun day for all of us, but at the same time, it's just a fun day.
All right. So with Wet Blanket having now spoken, I will say, no, I have a question. Shoot, I had a question.
Well,
All right,
I'll move
ignore
on to
me.
the next story while you rethink it. At Walt.
Oh no, I remember. Someone had mentioned something interesting. Someone who had previously had a ticket and will be going on April 30th. How weird it'll be. I mean, we'll see how many pass holders get it now because they didn't sell out. But they've certainly sold one has to presume, a large number of tickets, you're going to basically be in a park that's composition is unlike we've seen for some of us in our entire lifetime.
In a very long time.
It's not full of annual pass holders.
It's gonna be very interesting. Yeah. It will be very interesting.
Out here, the first couple of days where you had to have a hotel reservation to get into the parks for the first few days, that was definitely a change. And I think one of the things out there is, you guys visited here, but like Mike has said numerous times, he hasn't gone outside the house and he hasn't experienced everything. So walking into Disneyland the first day will be special, but at the same time, it'll also be, not to speak for you, Mike, but the question of, do you feel safe, I think will still play a part for a lot of the Californians down there.
It will. You know what I hate about this next picture, Rebecca?
What?
The masks.
Well, lucky for you, as of April 8th. So on April 8th, Walt Disney World relaxed their mask policy regarding photos. In the same way that if you are stationary and eating or drinking, you can remove your mask. They have made it now where if you are stationary, you can take a photo maskless. We did this when we were dining. We did this when we were also meeting Jeremiah in the relaxation station. So
now we can do it anywhere. Like Universal's been doing all along. Universal's permitted this all along. Disney has now started to permit it as well, which is nice. Very nice.
It will be nice. Tristan now wants to know your entertainment options.
I think all three of us have the same answer. If we can go into the history of entertainment.
55, when the kingdom came alive.
Yep.
But yeah, for real though, Fantasmic. Come on. So, are you?
Go ahead, DB.
Fill time.
No, sorry.
One other thing I want to mention about Disneyland opening, and then we're done with that, is the tier system. So the pricing is, there are 5 different tiers. As of right now, no dates have been announced for the lowest price tier. April 30th through May 16th are all at the highest price tier, which maxes out at $154 for a one-day ticket. And then it starts to kind of alternate between 3 and 4 with, I think, a little bit of tier 2. So, but the price, and I think they've said straight out, these tiers may fluctuate depending on demand. So dynamic pricing is here to stay, even at a time like this. That's all. You may continue.
So I want to throw in one thing. After going through just about 5 different pages on the Disneyland site, there's no information on if you cancel a reservation, then you have a ticket if you can or cannot reuse it for a different day.
No.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you for checking that out.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Beyond the world of Disney, there's also lots of new and exciting things happening. For example, over at Universal Orlando, we finally got an opening date for the VelociCoaster. It's coming to us June 10th, and we will get to see all the fun that is waiting in line for a Universal Orlando coaster. Thanks to, I suspect Jeremiah will be there, right?
Jeremiah will be there, as I'm sure Mike Mack will be there. I'm really crossing my fingers that there is some type of preview for annual pass holders, and I'm lucky enough to score that, so I can go just report on the fun, and then Mac can do a 10-hour tweet-a-thon while he's waiting in line for it.
Nothing makes me happy like macking along Uniline.
So that'll be coming to us on June 10th over there at Universal Orlando.
And during our trip there, they were doing a ton of testing. We got to see it from so many different angles, day and night, and it's just a beautiful coaster to watch. It's going to be great, even if you're not riding it, just to see that kind of energy throughout the park.
And Wednesday, we're doing a walk and talk where I will probably just be walking around VelociCoaster if they're testing it, just going, ooh.
And at Universal Orlando Resort, they've recently opened 2 new shops. This is at the Legacy store. I suspect you guys talked about it last week. We were out of town. And they have a lot of kind of retro merchandise along with old images and blueprints and nods to the history of Universal. But they've added this. Jeremiah, what is it?
The Mold-O-Matic. See, there's two different. There's Moldorama and Moldomatic. This is a Moldomatic. This is added, and Universal's been doing this in the Legacy store for the past year, where each theme, starting with the Tribute store to Halloween Horror Nights, had Frankenstein and a pumpkin, and then Christmas had something, and Mardi Gras has something. So this was an easy add to the Legacy store, and it's $6 for a shark. It is definitely not a custom. It's not like Mickey Mouse or the Jiminy Cricket used to be. That's just a basic shark, but on the base it does say Universal on there, so it is something that is unique, and it's Jaws. So
nice one. Was that your idea, Jeremiah?
yes,
Nicely done.
thank you.
And in keeping with theme park stops, Epcot has unveiled some artwork for their coming shop, the new flagship store of Epcot. It's called the Creation Shop. Any thoughts?
It'll be interesting. I mean, I like that it's the open windows are taking it back to the old days of Centurium. So it's a little bit lighter. This shot, I mean, this picture right here, to me, looks almost like it's like a Mervyn's or a JCPenney shop with the mannequin and the kids going, I want to go to the toy shop. But, it's nice that we have something to look forward to. And then really the highlight of this announcement, which I'm sure you're about to address, Club Cool is coming back.
That is so exciting.
Beverly for everybody.
Not only will you get to sample a variety of Coca-Cola beverages, but they also said there'll be new enhancements. So I don't know. Maybe you'll get to see what you look like as a Coca-Cola bottle. I don't know.
I know that.
They're going to have a little alien in there talking to you while you get your refillable mug. Oh, wait. That's...
In regards to this looking like a typical
Mervyn's
department store, I felt the same way about the new Universal theme park store at the City Walk. Mm-hmm. It just, when you walked, the mannequins and the designs on the walls, I loved. I mean, there's artwork on the wall there that's super cool, like blueprints and such. But as far as just the aesthetic, it was very, very, 80s, 90s department store. So
yes, but it was more than made up for by the Legacy store, which was amazing.
Yeah, the Legacy store was super cool, awesome.
The Legacy store that has lots of the same merchandise as the Universal store.
But the theme of it is amazing.
No, we did 3 loops, I think, in there when we were doing the walk and talk the other day.
Where is Club Cool going? Is it the same location?
No, because that location's destroyed.
That's what I thought.
No, we don't have any information other than that where Mouse Gear is what is they're currently putting for the Creation Shop. So I'm guessing it's somewhere in there, because the other side is going to be the new restaurant that's going to have the open kitchen with the display and everything. So and that area isn't, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but the shop side has glass walls and everything up, but the restaurant side is still very far from being complete.
Jeremiah, I don't know if you got the news, but Rhea Ripley and Asuka are having a rematch tonight on Raw.
Oh, and Raw is now going to have one of the commentators. I'm going to have to start watching Raw because Adnan Burt is now, one of the voices of Raw. So I am so excited. Not only am I excited for Adnan, but I'm excited for Meadowlark overall. The new John Skipper, Dan Levitard sports media company. So so exciting news there.
He's going to start commentating though on the episode live
tonight. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to set Raw to tape now.
Okay.
On YouTube TV.
Over in Shanghai, they've debuted as part of their anniversary celebration. They have debuted a new nighttime spectacular called Illuminate. And as part of Illuminate, for the first time ever, Marvel is being projected onto a Disney castle. There you go. You have Iron Man, and that's what the press release says. Jeremiah, stop thinking about it. I can could see him going, I don't think that's right.
No, Disney Castle is correct. They were projected on the one of the best icons in any theme park, the Chinese Theater. But yes,
But
the
yes.
castle, though.
Yeah. So, what you think, Mike? A castle show with they have like Iron Man flying up the side. I think at one point you see Black Panther.
That should be cool. I remember when they had the hyperspace for the Star Wars night on Sleeping Beauty Castle. So Star Wars has been on a castle, but yeah, I was trying to think of a Marvel example, but I haven't seen that before.
And if you can't make it over to Shanghai wrong window. See, I thought I was going to be so smooth. If you can't make it over to Shanghai on June 4th, maybe you can make it to California, right? Adventure Campus.
Yes, Avengers Campus. Heck yeah. Something new is coming to the Disneyland Resort, and this is extremely exciting. We finally have a date, and the date is not as far off as I would have guessed. And DCA will be complete, I believe, because there's no more imagination left. We just
Okay.
Avengers Campus.
Yes, Jeffrey, there is some really great video out there. In fact, there's a couple out there that seem to me to be like from Shanghai corporate, but I haven't yet found them through an official channel. So I did not share any, but Shanghai Disney had that, Disneyland Resort had that still. So that's what I grabbed. You guys, now Jeremiah and Mike, you were able to watch a lot of that most of that presentation by Josh D'Amaro. We were on an airplane.
I actually missed this part, and I was about to ask Mike. I'm like, I don't have a frame of reference. I mean, I see the Collector's Tower in the background, so I'm guessing that the Stark building and part of that was the old Tough to Be a Bug theater.
Correct.
And then the rest of it is the new. And the red down at the end, is that the Pym Particle restaurant?
I think that's
no. I think that's the Spider-Man attraction entrance.
I think that's Web Slingers. So yeah, here's some more pictures I'll share with the crew here with the Quinjet, right?
And that'll be the entrance for the Avengers attraction coming in the distant future.
And we got a cool look at that during the Touch of Disney event at DCA. You can kind of see that from Cars Land.
Were there any unique or special takeaways that you had from Josh D'Amaro's talk through Avengers Campus?
It was just cool kind of watching Josh D'Amaro and Kevin Feige kind of interview each other, because knowing that Kevin Feige is a pretty big Parks fan and that he's been so influential in building this Avengers Campus, it was cool to get his insight, not only on Avengers Campus, but just on like the operations of the parks in general. Like he's genuinely interested in that kind of thing. So it's always interesting to hear him talk. But I don't think we learned, other than the date, I don't think we learned anything major about Avengers Campus from that event.
As more information's been coming out, what are you guys most looking forward to?
I'm hoping the red car trolley comes back.
Stop, Doobie.
I love the red car trolley.
Stop derailing my questions.
That area right there that you were showing, the Doctor Strange area, actually looks pretty cool, especially that one shot at nighttime.
Yes.
I'm interested to check that out.
How about you, Jeremiah?
I'm looking forward to Web Slingers. I mean, while that area looks great, one of the sad things about the opening date will probably be, sadly, we won't have the Doctor Strange experience at the start. We'll only have just a little bit, but that entire area, like, to me, I'm the nerd. I love walking around and trying to place things, and I can't wait to try to find, Flick hiding in Pym's.
I will be more on topic here. I am not the biggest Marvel fan in the world, so nothing here is really, and from what I've heard of the attraction, it's probably not my liking. I'm not big on interactive attractions.
Oh,
but
we lost Doobie.
What?
No, Doobie's there.
I hear you.
Oh, so we lost me.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
Well,
hear you
yeah.
too.
I'll keep talking. But what they did show way back when, and then I haven't heard anything since. So I'm really hoping it's not a dead thing. Remember the animatronic thing that went flipping through the air that everyone presumed was going to be Spider-Man? I'm hoping that at some point makes an appearance, and that would be what I'm most excited about.
They just released a new video of that.
Oh, well, thank you. April 8th, 4 days
That
ago.
was a great segue, Doobie. Like, I'm impressed with that one. That was good.
I have not seen this thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
This just came out. So
We were on an airplane.
I'm on vacation.
Yeah, we were on an airplane.
This is this is easily what I'm most excited about, because I can do this obviously all day, but it's not the same as watching Spider-Man animatronic.
You and Bad Bunny hang out and work out and do this like all the time.
Wow, thanks for that, Rebecca. Nice going. You were ready.
Hey, you're welcome. I will say that I am looking forward to most is Pim Kitchen. I have been since they unveiled the menu at the D23 Expo, and I am still looking forward to Pim Kitchen.
Giant beers, like bigger than
Thank
your head.
Yes, the idea of ginormous food fascinates me. I'm excited.
Why is the food ginormous?
For
'Cause
real?
They made it tiny because it's cheaper that way, and they used the PIM particle to expand it.
Are you familiar with the idea of Ant-Man?
They're
I
gonna
thought
have
the food would be
pretzels,
small.
like, bigger than your head.
No, it's as if they can give you things so like it seems as if you were a little bit
Okay.
smaller,
So
and so
I'm the
therefore
small
things
one.
so
and
therefore
the food
things
is
could
huge.
be oversized.
I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have fun with the concept.
I'm not that smart. Okay.
By the way, thanks for the like, and if you are enjoying it, we appreciate getting likes. It helps other people find us, and then we can share more Disney parks talk with them as well. So yeah, thank you for the like. Fun fact: what does this?
Well, time out. Fact.
Yes, go
Nick,
ahead.
you really need to.
Always read Nick's before you put
Sorry.
them up on the screen.
Sorry, I didn't read Nick. Sorry.
We've all learned that lesson the hard way.
Sorry. Sorry.
I was going
But
to
it
ask
is-
if that was a
but it is
deliberate
funny.
misspelling.
Sorry. I should have known. I don't have my Nick filter. I was on vacation. But what were you gonna say, Doobie? Before I got sidetracked by Nick.
I'm glad for the understanding of what the portion size at Pim Kitchen. That's all. Move on.
I will forever call it what Nick put.
Yeah.
No.
That's just now.
I do plan on showing up though when I get my ticket
With a
after
big
June
hat
4th
with feather
with
in
the
it?
big hat and the cane.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Here comes
Okay.
Doobie.
No, enough. I'm going to move this along to the next topic that was discussed during the event, and that is the Disney Genie. Now, we had heard about this previously at D23 Expo, and I'm very excited that it is still on the way.
I can't hear this without thinking of Diaper Genie for some reason.
Now that's what our closed caption's going to say is Diaper
Right?
Genie.
Oh, you guys just rename everything.
I feel bad for Mike. When he talks, can we let him be seen again?
No, I'm sorry. I'm so
His hat.
sorry. No, I'm so
That's
sorry.
Sorry, I tried
about
to
that,
find
Mike.
it, but I couldn't find it. Fast enough.
Sorry.
So I'm kind of surprised, not only that it's not so much that it's still coming, but that they're talking about it now because for obvious reasons. Jeremiah, why am I surprised?
Well, because it's so much easier to contact Mouse Fan Travel and have them help plan everything for you.
So what is this?
It's
what is
pretty
this?
much just taking the planning instead of, when Rebecca would sit at home with her 5 books and charts and pie graphs and figure out what you're doing with every second of your trip. The Disney Genie will help do that for you now.
That was never how I planned my Disney vacations. Ever.
So does this mean FastPass is coming back?
Okay, so I'm sorry, but this gets me very excited at the notion that things are getting back to a more normal situation. Because if you look at the screen grab on the right, it's saying things like lowest forecasted wait. This Disney Genie is gonna, you're going to tell it. My perception, based upon some of the screen grabs, are you're going to tell it some of the things that you want to do that you want to do during your trip, and then it's going to kind of guide you a bit and be like, hey, special alert, the attraction that you wanted to go on is experiencing an amazingly short ride time right now. Maybe you should get over there.
Which means everybody else should run to the other side of the park to the real attraction you want to go on.
I
So
know.
everybody go, ooh, 5-minute wait.
But
And
if
then they get there in an hour.
if they're savvy, they can kind of ship people around, right? If you've got 2 or 3 attractions in there, it can like spread people out, so you don't end up with that.
But then
even
you've
though
got
it
people
takes you to know.
saying, Genie didn't tell me to go here. I had no idea it was available. I mean, seriously, unfortunately, that's the way people, I'm sure Disney knows what they're doing, but that's the way people are. It's like, what? You got the alert to go? I didn't get that alert. I would have gone on that. But if you give it to everybody, then...
But
well,
the
remember
other
surprise fast passes? You know, that was Disney Genie before.
The other thing I loved on here was, see how it's this grab here. It says morning, and then it shows like Woody's lunchbox and the hours, and that you have a Slinky Dog fast pass at this time. Well, the nice thing about the lunchbox is it has this nice little reminder here: mobile order. That would be very nice if I was reminded of those kinds of things. How about
still
this?
the best invention. Still the best Disney invention of the past 40 years is mobile order.
Yes,
Without
much better than universal mobile order.
Oh, infinitely.
Would you agree, Jeremiah? Do you use universal mobile order enough to compare?
I did use universal mobile order in the early days when it wasn't as, I don't want to say as bad as it is, but you know, I'd walk up and I would have my food in seconds, where the last time I used universal mobile order, I sat in Louis for probably 15 minutes while people that walked in 10 minutes after me got their food, and I finally had to wave somebody down like, oh, we didn't know such and such. It's not user friendly. Mobile order Disney is very easy. The notifications pop up.
The other thing that it'll do is it'll give you guide suggestions based upon the family interest. So this one over here is labeled like day for thrill seekers. And so then, you know, whatever you had, action-packed adventures, and then over here, royal treatment. So you see that you had it had a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and then a, you know, Journey of the Little Mermaid. So, you know, it's a little bit more personalizing to the suggestions based upon your interests. And for Donna, this is currently set for Disney World.
And this is, I mean, it's exciting to see what Disney's going to do here. This is a good thing. I am extremely interested to see how, for lack of a better word, honest Disney is with it. If this were done by a third party, then and they're going to be honest about what they recommend, and you know, they're not going to send you over to Carousel of Progress because you say you like. They're only going to send a very few people over to Carousel of Progress. So I'm curious to see how Genie handles that. Is it going to be sending people? Is it going to give them a surprise pass to the Carousel of Progress to try to spread out the load? Or is it going to send people what they really are going to most enjoy the way an unofficial app would? I don't know the answer, but I'm interested to see.
And then over at Epcot, they've added the last of the 4 barges to the
World
Harmonious.
Yes.
Harmonious. Thank you. Either of those words would have worked, but neither one came to mind.
I have something important to say about this.
Here we go.
Choco Taco?
All you Disney fans who are complaining about what Harmonious does to the World Showcase Lagoon,
I can't do a banner for this.
You are absolutely wrong. I forgot it was there. I walked through Epcot. I looked to my right. Oh, that's what they're all complaining about? This is not that big of a deal. It is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Are you nodding, Jeremiah? Are you nodding because you think it is that big of a deal, or because you agree with Doobie?
I agree with Doobie. I was saying this from day one.
Those two agree.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in person, so
it's one of those things. You know, when they drain the river at Disneyland, you know, the first day you walk by it, or the first time you walk by it, you go, oh, there's no water in the river. But then as the day goes by, you forget. There's the island. You look past it. Yes, there are giant Choco Tacos and the Stargate in the middle of the lagoon. But to me, I really wish that I had my control right now. To me, as somebody who goes quite often it's not that shocking anymore. Like I walk and go, oh. I mean, I will be shocked the first time I walk in and see the water going and the fountains, and then everybody maybe that's in the upper corner of the screen has to go, oh, wow, that does kind of make it look even more special.
Hey, Mike, you know how around the Halloween time you're driving around town and in the middle of the day and you see this unlit carnival just kind of sitting over on the side of the highway, and it's going to look really pretty and attractive at night, but right now it just kind of looks like a pile of rusted parts.
Mike,
Sure.
Here's the part where you decide if you want your dad or your mom to get you a Christmas gift.
No, that's just how it struck me. I'm not going to say that I am going to say that it wasn't as large as I thought it would be based upon the images, but I will say that I still found it really not distractingly unattractive.
But she's used to that because we've been married for 23 years.
Let's talk about how long those WrestleMania matches went.
Let's not. The Disney Cruise Line had the keel. Oh boy, the word's not coming to me again. But hey, Minnie Mouse, Captain Minnie is going to be on the bow of the ship.
It's a keel laying, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the keel laying, but with that they unveiled that we're going to have Captain Minnie for the first time on the bow. So the bow of the Disney Wish is going to feature the lovely mouse. And as part of the ceremony, they do this coin in the keel. So you have Captain Minnie featured. There's the keel itself, Minnie with the representation coin. So yeah.
So me being the hippest person on this broadcast,
The hat and the feather, yeah.
Yeah,
Hip and edgy.
I one of my favorite TikTok follows is one of the female captains of the Norwegian cruise line, and it's so interesting to see. It has nothing to do with her being female, but it's so interesting to see a captain just showing what it's like to captain a cruise ship, a major cruise ship. So I am hoping this Captain Minnie is perhaps indicative that the next captain of the Disney cruise ship will be a woman. I think that'd be pretty cool, and that's all I had to say about that.
That would be an exciting announcement when the Disney Wish is finally available. So, yeah. Let's see. I guess we're getting ready to wrap up. We've covered all the highlights I have here. Do you have anything else? Did I forget anything, Doobie? If not,
did you guys talk about knots already?
No.
Well, there we go. That's our last story.
I also went to Six Flags. And I could tell my Universal story. I don't know if we want to cover other parks on this, but
You always do.
We totally do. I'll be honest. I wasn't sure you would be here, and I didn't think I should just talk about the fun you had. I figured I'd let you do it.
Knott's is reopening.
May 21st, quite late compared to everybody else.
Well,
but it's gonna.
They're gonna start on May 6th.
How cool! They're gonna give annual pass holders a couple of weeks before the general public.
And I bought an annual pass this morning.
Our marketing worked.
Yeah, I think it was $101, right, Mike?
Oh well, I got the platinum that came with the parking, so it was $200.
Okay, but even still, I mean,
after a few trips, that parking's going to pay for itself.
Yep.
Right.
Wow.
That's why that Universal Pass, the Universal Passes that they are selling, none of them include the parking because that's where they get you. They own the property, and they still charge you for the parking.
I remember when Gideon was young, we I forget what park it was, but we bumped his up to the parking price because we knew that neither one of us were going to go without him.
Right.
But we didn't want to pay for parking on mine. If Doobie took him by himself, then he'd have to pay to park. So we bumped up Gideon's. And that way, like, his aunts and uncles could take him and get his parking. So, yeah.
Ingenious.
I don't know that they allow you to do that anymore. I think that they now block adding
a child
parking
can't
to a
do parking.
child ticket. Yeah.
We'll just get them a grown-up ticket because it still saves us money.
Still save you money, right? Yeah.
Well, nobody can get parking. So
Here you go. Any opinions on the lightsaber? What did you think of the lightsaber? Share.
I didn't get a chance to see it, and it's killing me.
Yeah, that was one of my frustrations of this week is that I saw 95% of that live stream and then switched to cover something else right before. Like I thought they were ending, and then I saw on Twitter everybody was raving about this lightsaber, and I missed it.
So there you have it.
Maybe we should bring on a special guest who did see the lightsaber. Can we bring you on, special guest?
Oh yeah, special guest. Can you join us?
Hello.
Hey, special guest. It's
I
Ben.
did see the lightsaber.
I heard it was real.
Yeah, so
Yes, it's real.
This was a very weird event where they were primarily talking about, it was like, it kind of came across like Josh wanted like an excuse to talk to Kevin Feige for about 20 minutes. And so they're talking about Avengers Campus. They announced the date. And then, he gives sort of a broad, like, we're going to think big and all this stuff. And then he just sort of like pulls out a lightsaber.
Ooh.
And it rises, like it's not like fast like a lightsaber in the movies, but it rises up like, it's not the fluorescent like in Galaxy's Edge. It's not the sort of nested like, your kid's lightsaber. And so, and you kind of get the sense that like, you're not sure if you can believe what you're seeing. So he kind of looks at the camera and he goes like, yeah, it's real. And like he's Terry Hatcher or something. And it's cool. I mean, you can find out how they did it. It's not a secret, but it's neat that they've sort of
let me ask.
engineered it.
Okay, so am I correct in understanding that as it grew, it was illuminated rather than you typically either it's like it grows and then it's illuminated. This like it
Right.
was growing as it was illuminating.
Right. It's like if it was
Behave, children.
it was like it was like slow. Like it was low on batteries and that it was like taking a while for it to get where it's going. But
Okay, like we lost Jeremiah.
okay.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to. They can't be grown-ups.
Oh. Yeah, so no, it was cool. It was blue. If that makes for those who care what color lightsabers they have.
Oh, cool. Okay. Very nice. And was this during daylight that you saw it, or was this at nighttime that it was being?
No,
seen?
it was during daylight. Now, obviously, it's film, so they could light it however they want. But
Did he wave it at all?
did he wave it? No, he didn't like. He didn't move it, but he didn't like battle the air or anything. I mean,
But he could move it, and the light just smoothly moved with it, like a real lightsaber would.
he didn't do
real lightsaber.
So, Benji, do we think that this could be a preview either for the Halcyon lightsaber experience or something they could be selling in the park soon?
I think both. I don't think, I think, I don't know when they plan on rolling it out. I don't think it's anything that they would hold up on. I don't see any reason to limit it based on what I know of it. So
this didn't come. I'm sorry. So this didn't come across like the Fantasyland Dragon or the Galaxy's Edge opening night vehicles that we've never seen again.
Well, no, but those we kind of presumed at the same time that they wouldn't just do it, put all that money into it for once either. So
Good point.
And because they also had a sort of a walking and talking baby Groot,
That's right.
maybe. And so it was interesting about this event, and I think I can say this, was originally in the first invite, it said there'd be someone from WDI to talk about research and development. That didn't happen. So I kind of feel like they added those parts at the end to kind of make up for it. Maybe they ran out of time or who knows what. But there was definitely sort of the Marvel part, and then here's little teases coming from WDI. Because there was no, it was basically Groot was like a post-credit tag. There was no introduction. It just started playing. And,
wow.
You'd have easily missed it.
Right, Mike.
While we have our CEO here, can I ask him one other unrelated question that I feel he has a particular area of expertise and knowledge in?
Okay, as long as it's not about one thing, I can't answer.
No. Do you know if you buy a ticket for a particular day, you get a reservation for that day, and then for some reason you don't show up, does that ticket remain valid to get a new reservation on another day?
Yes, well, as long as you cancel it. I don't know if you don't cancel it.
Okay.
If it would take, but you can cancel it. So then you would.
The one thing that I found was they call out making sure you cancel your reservation by 11:59 the day before, but it doesn't say anything about the tickets. It says so it can open up to other guests wanting to visit the park.
So if you don't cancel and you want to use that ticket and you wake up with a really bad cough, they want you to go anyway.
No, I'm pretty sure if you call them and say, "Hey, I had a reservation, but I woke up with a fever," they will find a way to ensure you are okay. I wouldn't. I think they just don't want it. They don't want to encourage it because then it's a reservation, so you could have gone. But it's not like you don't show up and you can't use that ticket again.
I wonder how quickly we'll find like a pattern of availability for days that you didn't anticipate. For example, when we were booking our trip, I tried to book dining and I could not get any dining reservations at all at the theme park we were going to that day. Let's say it was Magic Kingdom. And I kept checking, and it wasn't until I want to say 24 hours before we were going to that park. All of a sudden, magically, I was able to find some table reservations at that park. I wonder if we'll find that kind of scenario happening here, where people will start to learn kind of patterns of release, where we might find additional availability for tickets after it's already seemingly booked.
I think so too, and I think you also see as they allow capacity to grow that just because it's sold out today does not mean it's sold out tomorrow. I don't think you expect them to ever come out and say, here's what we're doing, because it would cause a problem. But yeah, I mean, I don't think just because it's sold out doesn't mean you shouldn't check again. Now, my understanding as the last I checked is every day still has park reservations as of this moment. So, the real test will be once people can buy tickets, because annual pass holders just didn't have one-day tickets laying around because they're annual pass holders. So
they do, framed on their wall, Indiana Jones, Toontown.
We do. And then one other thing, did you hear what we decided to call the Pim Kitchen?
No, you didn't. You'll hear that later. No, just ignore it. Shake your head in disgust.
Don't know how many times I did that today.
Just note, UB edit.
It's great to be back.
So Mike C was about to tell us about his adventures in now already open theme parks. Are you going to stick around for that, Ben, or you have other things you've got to get going to?
The only thing I got to do is once this is done, talk to Mike.
Okay, cool. So, Mike, how were your adventures? Where'd you end up going?
Now I have a reason to wrap it up.
I know, right?
I went to Six Flags last week, Magic Mountain in Valencia, California, and that day actually went fine, except it took me a while to get into the parking lot. It was like a half-hour wait just to park. But other than that, I enjoyed my day. I liked walking around the park. I only went on a few things. I found that though the capacity was limited, the lines took a long time to get through because they were obviously wiping everything down, only filling like every third row in the roller coaster trains, and then every other cycle they sent through the trains empty. I don't know if that's the same way they're doing it in Florida.
They were doing it. Now it's gotten to the point where they're filling just about every seat possible.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I enjoyed my day. Yeah, there's a nice photo I took, I think. Is that a photo I took? I think so. There's the Batmobile.
How can that ride still be there?
They actually it was VR at one point.
Yeah.
And then they had the over-the-shoulder harnesses, and now they're finally back to just the lap bar, which originally the Great American Revolution opened with because it was the first looping roller coaster in the United States.
I think it is literally called Classic Revolution now.
Yeah.
Like that's the name of the ride now, like Classic Coca-Cola. Justice League was the first theme park ride I went on in over a year, and it was fairly underwhelming. I had never been on it before.
Much like the film.
Yeah, pretty much. But otherwise it was a good day. It wasn't too crowded, and I got to go on a few rides.
And he remembered to do the 6. Wear your mask, wash your hands, cover your cough, keep your space, sanitize often, have fun.
Presented by Geico.
If you wash your hands, you don't have to sanitize often.
That's an improvement because when I went to Magic Mountain, one of them was watch your wallet. So I'm very happy that things have gotten safer there.
Don't make eye contact. There's a whole color sheet of what you could and couldn't wear as far as.
That's right.
always know where the nearest exit is. All this stuff that used to with Magic
Do
Mountain.
they still have the 3 different metal detectors you have to go through?
Do they? We're not media for them, are we, Ben?
Not
Are we
anymore.
trying to be?
I certainly wasn't last week. Actually, I was surprised at the security because I was worried about bringing in my my gimbal and my what's it called? GoPro. I have like a little GoPro handle thing, but I went through security and they didn't even open my bag. And then, I was on the gimbal doing our live stream for like an hour with Tony, and like an hour and 5 minutes into our live stream, I got stopped by security and told that we weren't allowed to have the gimbal in there at all, even though I explained it doesn't extend. It's not a selfie stick. But he was like, yeah, you got to put that away. So we had to end it there.
Well, definitely, we're not doing media for them. Was everything working in Justice League?
I had never been on it before, so I don't know. But as far as I could tell, it seemed like it was working. It was mostly like shooting at screens.
Which cut did you get?
He finished. He got off, so his clearly wasn't the Zack Snyder cut.
I like the Joker animatronic. I thought that was cool at the beginning.
Cyborg in the pre-show, which I'm guessing you may not have seen because that's a holding room.
I saw it. They walked us through there, and I took a quick picture, but they didn't roll the pre-show or anything.
Yeah, he had some great animatronics when he was working fully.
Are the Wonder Twins in the attraction at all?
Nope.
That's disappointing. Gleek?
Nope.
Okay.
Now they're being So let's see. What else, Mike? Where else have you been?
Oh yeah, then I had my Universal
this is a nice shot though.
adventure.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, that was me right after I left.
That's really pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about Universal.
So I woke up Thursday morning knowing that was the day Universal tickets were going on sale. And I immediately checked. I woke up at like 7:30 a.m. I immediately checked to see if they were available, and they were. Shockingly, I saw people tweeting the link and stuff, so I immediately bought an annual pass, which was the plan. And I just because I was in kind of a rush, like wanting to get them before they sold out, I just kind of clicked through, and at one point a calendar came up and it was like select a date, and I didn't really look too closely at it. I just kind of assumed that it was like the first date selected was today. I assumed it was the date that the park was opening, but it actually was the date that I bought the ticket. So I ended up with once they sent me the confirmation, it said your first visit must occur on Thursday, April 8th, which was the day I bought it. But the park wasn't open for regular operation that day. It was just a taste of Universal. So, we're trying to go on opening day to cover it this coming week. So it was a big panic of what are we going to do? I was on the phone on hold for hours, trying to get in contact with them. I actually drove over there at one point. I only live 20 minutes from Universal, so it wasn't that bad. But once I got there, they told me just to call anyway. So it was very frustrating trying to get in touch with
I've been there so many times.
Yeah. But eventually they just sent me an email that was like, yeah, even though you bought a annual pass for today, it'll just work when you show up starting on April 16th, which is the day they're starting. Was the day that they're actually opening. So they just said basically show up and they'll let you in. And they've sent me 3 further clarifications of that. So I'm now fairly confident that when I go this Friday, I'm going to be allowed into the park.
Well, there you go. So we will find out soon.
Yeah. And then the other frustrating thing that day with Universal was once I got home from driving over there, a fruitless trip over there, I saw that they had opened Secret Life of Pets. Just
during the touch of.
Yeah, just for people who are at Taste of Universal,
Taste of.
Yeah, and then we were feeling bad for people who had gone earlier in the run of Taste of Universal because so few things were available, and then now the whole like lower lot is available. They've opened since Jurassic World is now open. A lot of the other rides you could go on. I think Forbidden Journey opened up at one point. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. They're making some odd choices over there.
Yeah. There's the tale of Mike Celestino.
But yeah, I really hope
Mike is a
I
tail?
hope Friday runs smoother than today or the
Me
past.
too. Me too. I'm excited to see you in like, full operational theme park mode.
Yeah, that'll be the first one really in a while.
Wow.
And also Thursday. I hope Thursday goes well too in getting tickets to go to Disneyland.
Yeah, me too.
No stress there. No stress there.
So I guess we can wrap up, but I wanted to go ahead, Doobie.
I just had two quick things I wanted to say.
Okay, and then I'll share a little story from our trip, and that'll tell
Okay.
us sign off.
First of all, I wanted to congratulate London Tipton and the little kid from Home Alone. They just had a child, Brenda Song and Macaulay Culkin. So congratulations
Aw, that's
to
cool.
them.
Wait,
And
who's
then,
London Tipton?
Brenda Song.
Sweet Life of
Brenda,
Zack and Cody.
actress
I don't know that. I
Brenda
don't know
Song, right?
Yes, actress
Yeah,
Brenda
Brenda
Song.
She's better known for her role in something else.
Sweet Life.
No,
Sweet Life
Wait,
of Zack and Cody.
was she in Fargo?
wasn't she in?
Oh, the TV Fargo? Yes, she was.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was in the Social Network as
Social Network. That's what I was thinking of. Social Network.
Yeah,
She was
Yeah.
Bilbo's second wife in Fargo, I think.
yeah. I remember
Right.
how
Wait,
shocked I was
she
to
was
see her
in
in
The
that.
Hobbit?
Anyway,
Okay, what's the other story?
I wanted to wish a happy 50th anniversary to my mother and father-in-law today.
Very, very sweet. They were having a lovely dinner out in this modern era. They sent all their kids pictures of the two of them dining. We were actually able to celebrate with them last week when we were in Florida. Since all us kids were together, we went ahead and had a family celebration then, and the two of them just went out for a nice dinner together tonight. But I wanted to share a story from Universal. Our last night on vacation, Gideon's favorite ride is Men in Black. I know a lot of people who watch this channel know that he is very passionate. The last time we were on vacation there together, Gideon and I, we ended up riding it 22 times. This trip, we did not ride it as
Can I
many.
pause you and ask a
Go
question?
ahead, please.
So Gideon loves Men in Black, but Doobie dislikes interactive attractions. Is that causing like a father-son rift?
Only when I
Well-
have to ride it with them all the time.
I was going to say, we rode it 22 times last time. We did not ride it that many times this year. Dad was not as willing to indulge it as Mom.
No.
So it was the final night. We were walking over to it as the park. We were about an hour from park close, and it showed as the ride was down, like it wasn't currently operating. Not closed, but down. So we went over and hoped to join the queue, but they wouldn't let us. And we were there with LP staffers, Mike Mack and Tony Betty, as it turned out. And as the evening got very close to ending, my son was sitting on his phone doing refresh as if he was waiting for Comic-Con tickets to come on sale. Just over and over, refresh. And with 5 minutes left, the line opened up, and Gideon and Tony and Mike sprinted. We were over by Harry Potter, sprinted and ducked into the line just in time, and we got to go on the ride, and it was one of the final rides of the night, and it was one of the greatest memories of the trip.
Is there a more exciting moment in a theme park fan's life than sprinting to get on a ride at the last possible second?
It was so much fun. And so Gideon and the guys were in the front row. I was in the back row with their significant others, and we were competing head to head. And as Mike Mack was pulling ahead, there's this portion where you can get more points if you shoot the vehicle across the way. But Tony turns around and starts shooting the target behind him to get those points instead, the cheater way to do it. And so Mike Maxall, you're that guy? And Tony's like, yep.
We're
so
surprised that Tony's that guy.
Like
Not
4
one
different
bit.
times we spun. It was so much fun. Gideon ended up with a score bigger than mine, which was his main goal. I think Tony ended up beating us all, but there is going to definitely be a rematch with the no firing your own target rule. So yeah, it was look.
If I could ask her.
Whoa. So yeah.
Just one quick thing about that. I want to show that picture again. Someone's missing from this picture.
Scooby, where are you?
Yeah, I wasn't there. It's seat 6, so I was the odd man out. So I got to watch everyone's stuff, which gave me the opportunity to steal some of Rebecca's hot butter beer. And that may be the most divine thing that's ever been in my mouth. So.
It was amazing. Hot butter beer is amazing. I am so appreciative of whoever on our team told me I needed to be sure and try the hot butter beer. It is so good.
22 did just in time to hear this. Awesome.
Yay! But it was a great memory. I very much appreciate Mike and Tony making sure that Gideon was able to get that last minute ride. I appreciate that Universal didn't close that line earlier like they have at other times during our trip where we walked up and the line's been closed about 10 or 15 minutes before park closed. So all around, yay. So yeah.
It was great. It was our last ride of the trip, our last night. So it really would have been disappointing had we missed it. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Universal, for opening up with literally 5 minutes left. I'm really shocked.
That was amazing that they did that. So hopefully we'll be sharing more of our recent adventures out in Florida, because we had a really great time. Got to visit Universal quite a few times. Hit Blizzard Beach, Magic Kingdom, Disney Studios, and Epcot and Animal Kingdom. So we got to hit them all.
Boardwalk, Disney Springs, Skyliner. Yes, Jeremiah.
We really need to keep 5 on the screen because the smiling castle right there.
I know, right there.
Makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jared, for this cute art that we use.
Yeah.
Do you like the way Mr. Toad is presenting you down there?
I just like that. Jeremiah. As Kidder points out, coming up later tonight, we have LP Movie Club, in which the crew will talk about this week's film entitled Night at the Museum.
My favorite Disney movie.
Stay tuned to Laughing Place channel here. Thanks for joining us. I guess that's it for this week. We'll be back next week to talk more Disney parks news and talk and fun. So see y'all then. Bye.